Good evening, everybody. So I was sitting here and I'm about to work on Monopoly. Not work on it. I'm going to get it ready to be able to be worked on some more by attaching it to the fabric, like I've said before in my videos. And because this idea is different and is really me winging it out there in left field to save something that I should probably just frog and restitch, I decided it might be a good idea to take you through the process step by step, because even if I wait until it's all done and I make a video and I'm telling you what, I'm gonna forget things. I'm not going to, this way you can kind of see it, and I'm not gonna, you know, have you watch me do the entire thing, but as I do each step or decision making or whatever, I'm gonna record just a quick little vlog, and then when it's all done, I'll put it all together and you can see how I saved my Monopoly piece. So first thing I've done, and you already kind of know this, is I went and bought white fabric, and I'm going to attach the entire piece the way that it is to this piece of fabric. And the way I decided to do that, I have put the white fabric and Monopoly in my Q-snap. Okay, first of all, you could probably do this with a sewing machine, but I cannot sew a straight line to save my life. Number one. Two, and I want this to look nice, I do. And two, it's such a big piece, and so I feel like I would risk, you know, making it crooked or this, that, and the other. So here's what I'm doing. I've put them both in the Q-snap, and I am taking a white piece of thread. I thought about doing black and almost making it like another border, but I decided not to do that. So it's white. I'm going to leave 2 spaces. These Q-snaps are not tight enough. So I'm going to count over 2. 1, 2. And I'm going to stitch a back stitch all the way around to connect Monopoly to the white fabric. And so I'm going to work on that. It's probably going to take me a little bit. And I will check back with y'all when I get this part of it done. So see y'all later. My iPad is about to make me very mad. Okay. So it's been a couple hours and I have finished the stitching. See, there's this outline here and then also in here, because now what I'm going to do is cut the middle out. Now that this is all nicely secured, I'm going to take this part out so that I can manipulate it and then sew it back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come about 2 stitches out from here, and I'm going to cut it with a seam ripper. So come 2 stitches out. I'm going to very carefully, because this is 18 count Aida, put it in one of the Aida holes and not push it all the way through the fabric too. So just in between, and then just rip. So this is not very easy to do, and I'm gonna have to go very slowly and very carefully because I do not want to cut the border that I just stitched, and I do not want to cut the fabric. So, and I want to try and keep as much of this in one piece as possible. So, I'm going to keep working on this, and then I will come back and show you. See, that is cut, and I will show you once it's all out. And then we'll move on to the next part. Bye. Okay, y'all, the next step is finished. I'm going to back up so maybe you can see it. No more Monopoly in the middle. Nice clean edges, mostly. I mean, there's a few strays here and there, But really, with what I plan to do with it, that is not going to be a problem, because I'm going to put a clear vinyl like on top of all this. So now to take this Monopoly and give myself a little more room here by attaching another piece of Ada and then finishing the M, then I'll cut those out and I will put them where they go, right in the middle there, and we should be all done. So I don't know if I'll get that. I know I'm not going to get it completed tonight, but you will see it done here in just a few seconds, because I'm not going to put the video together until it's all done. So here we go. Next part. Okay, now for the part, because I showed you that it's all cut out, and now I've got to work on the middle piece. This is the part that I've been like having a hard time trying to explain, and then sometimes I feel like not explaining it. And so let me say here that I don't feel like anything we do to get our pieces to look however we like for them to look at the end, we should be ashamed of. So because I chose not to frog all this out and remake it, because that's a lot, like a lot of stitching right there. 2, I have a deadline, and I'm making it for family who aren't going to look at the flaws. They're going to appreciate the fact that I spent an entire year trying to get this made for them. So my problem is that I didn't have enough room left to complete the M. That's the only part that I'm missing, and I didn't have enough room to complete it. So the first thing I did was I cut up my fabric some more, because I'm gonna need some more fabric. And then I attached it to the end here. So I perfectly lined up the holes, and then I pinned them together. It doesn't look like it, but I swear it works. And then what I'm going to do, and I gave myself a few rows, like I stopped on purpose in this diagonal pattern. I gave myself a few rows where I will start stitching again, and then eventually I'm going to hit the overlap. And the idea that I have in my brain is that it's going to basically meld it together. Yes, you're still going to see this part up here and down here, but like I said, that's not going to be that big of a deal because of, well, one, it's going to attach to the fabric, and then it's all going to go under a plastic piece. So I wanted you to kind of see what it looks like right now, so you can see once I stitch it how it's going to fix it. And then so you're seeing each part of it, and I'm gonna get to stitching, and I will talk to y'all later. Hi. Good evening, everybody. It is the next night from when I recorded the first part of this video. Of course, it's been 10 seconds for you, but I stitched the night away last night, trying to get as much of this Monopoly done as possible. Went home, went to sleep, came back to work, got started on it again. And I'm not done yet, but I wanted to kind of show you, once I get these last few stitches in the thread, that where I'm at, or what ended up happening. Okay, so I tried just overlaying the squares and continuing to stitch, and that didn't quite work because the end of the Ada would fray and come apart, and then it was looking really messy. So I went back and pulled that out, and then I sewed the two pieces of Ada together. Like, I put Monopoly here and the good side of Ada here, and then or like this, and then stitched them together and then opened it back up. Anyway, so and what I'm doing is I'm just stitching over that seam, and of course you're going to be able to see that seam But for the most part, I think it still looks pretty good. So I'm about to show you how that's going. Remember, I'm a messy stitcher, so there are threads all over the place. But here we are. So you can see that seam, right? But I was able to get, seriously, y'all, this is all that's going to be on that second piece of fabric. Had I had another inch of fabric, I wouldn't have even had to cut it out. It wouldn't have been, well, I probably still would have cut it out to center it, but I wouldn't have had to do this attaching thing, because really, that much. This much. That is not even an inch. Look. Oy. I'm going to let you see the back. Although it's horrible and embarrassing, but whatever. We're all stitchy people. To kind of show you how I managed to do that. So here it is. And it looks weird up here because that's how I put it in the Q-snap, but I made it lay open and then I just stitched through both pieces. And it has been killing this finger, because when I'm at the back, it's the one I use to push it through, and my middle finger, because the way that I turn the needle and then push it back down puts all the pressure here. I actually even stabbed myself, so there's like, you can see that little dot right there where I started bleeding because I stabbed myself. I was wearing tape around my fingers last night because it started to wear so much that it was hurting and I didn't want to stitch. So that's where I'm at. I doubt that I'll get the rest of this done tonight. So I've only got about 3 more hours of stitching. But I think I'm going to spend the weekend finishing this. Not pulling out anything new before Mania, because I also need to be able to, you know, clear my mind, refresh, get ready for, you know, I do have to go to Under the Sea for a little while and finish out the month. But then I need to pick a new focus piece for next month. I've got a pretty good idea what I want that to be, but I may still put it up to a vote on Instagram, I'm not sure. And then, this was supposed to be a tutorial, not a video. Anyways, new focus finish, get my whips, because I'm going to be doing a whip every day and a new project every day, so it's going to be pretty crazy. So I'll be back as soon as I can to show you this. Once I get this completed, this last little bit, then I'm going to stitch this onto the fabric I bought, trim it up so that it only has 4 rows just like the other piece, and then it'll be all done. Of course I gotta do that with the black ones too, but they're small. So I'm gonna get back to stitching and watching some Flosstube, and I'll see you here in another 10 seconds. Right. And here we have the last of it. I finished it this morning, but I didn't get a chance to record. So this is the first chance I've gotten. I'm going to kind of come in close so you can see. I just kind of stitched around. It's not super neat, and I lost a little bit of my tension here, so this is whatever. But that's not really that important to me because of the way that it's going to be displayed. Put those on there, and this is what it's like all done. So that is how I resolved to fix it. Is I sewed this border around, cut out the middle, fixed what I needed to fix, and then just stitched it back where it's supposed to go. And what I did was I lined this up here where it was originally supposed to be lined up, and then measured it to make sure that and this is equal, and then sewed it on. So that is that, and it's all done. And I'm super happy with it. I still need to iron it. And I still need to get a few things before I can fully finish it. So we'll see that at a later time. But, so if you ever have a problem that you don't want a frog, maybe there's another solution. Maybe it's a little bit out there, but it worked. And I think it looks pretty darn good. So thank you all for cheering me on and watching the videos. And I'm fixing to get started on my Stitch Mania for tonight. And then I will have another video for you tomorrow. I'll talk to y'all then. Bye.